Hey there, welcome back, physics fans. We're going to continue on with chapter 3.1, and we have that second worksheet on inclined planes, and we're going to go over number 7. Let's see how it goes. Consider a 5 kilogram mass sliding down a rough 35-degree ramp, and the surface has a coefficient of friction of 0.2. Draw a force diagram and the gravity component triangle. So a force diagram, or a free body diagram, it's sliding down. So I'm going to cheat. Oh, I didn't mean that cheat. Cheat by drawing a box on an angle as our free body diagram. The normal force, the force of gravity, and the frictional force. There's our free body diagram. And now the gravity components. So gravity is this way. And then there's the force of gravity in the x. And that's x. And force of gravity in the y. Okay, and then I'll just do the black ones for the other two. The normal, friction, and now I will get rid of. There we go. That's with the gravity components. Okay, so B. Let's take a look what we can do here. Find the amount of squeeze and slide components. So the slide, force of gravity in the x, is mg sine theta always. And that's going to be 5 times 9.8 times the sine of 35. And the other one will be force of gravity in the y. That's the squeeze. Mg cosine theta is equal to 5 times 9.8 times the cosine of 35 degrees. And let's pull up our calculator. And here we go. 5 times 9.8 sine 35 and 5 times 9.8 cosine 35. Do these answers in black. This is going to be 28.11, and this one is 40.14. And that's the units is newtons. And now let's do C. Find the normal force on the mass. Normal is going to equal the force of gravity in the y. Why is that? Because the sum of the forces in the y direction have to equal 0. And therefore, this has to equal that. And the force of gravity in the y has to equal the normal, because those have to balance. So the normal is going to equal 40.14 newtons. And now, what is the frictional force? D, the frictional force is mu times N, which is going to equal mu, which is 0.2, and N, which is 40.14. And that should equal, well, I'll pull up the calculator, but I can do it in my head. Take that number and multiply it by 0.2. And we get the force of friction is equal to 8.028 newtons. Now the largest step is not just multiply by a number, it's the biggest step. It is find the acceleration. So E, the sum of the forces in the x direction is equal to F net, which is equal to ma. And that means it's going this way, down the slope. So I have to take the FGX and subtract the force of friction because it's in the opposite direction. So write that down. Write down your thoughts. Force of gravity in the x, subtract the force of friction is equal to ma. And write down all these numbers. Force of gravity in the x, way up at the top, 28.11 newtons. Subtract the force of friction, 8.028 newtons, has to equal the mass, 5 times A. So I'm going to take the 28 point, that number, and subtract the 8 number, and that equals 20.08 newtons is equal to 5A. Why did I do an in-between step? Because I just wanted to say that this number is important, 20.08 newtons. What is it? Still waiting for your answer. Please raise your hand. Yes, Timmy. Yes, that's correct. That is the net force. And divide that by 5, and acceleration is equal to 4.016 meters per second squared, and that'll be down the slope. Any questions? Hearing none? Well, subscribe, like, leave a comment, listen to it 1,000 times. Talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.